Good morning. Actually, why am I saying good morning? It is 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I just got out of a meeting with a new potential accountant. You guys have all been asking, how do I do my OnlyFans taxes? And so today I thought I would give you guys everything that I know about taxes, especially as a business owner, as an OnlyFans creator, as a content creator in general. I thought we could really dive into it and I can teach you whatever I know. And I will say I am not a numbers person. have always been horrible with math. And for some reason, as somebody who has been so bad at math, I decided to do my own taxes for the first 3 years of my business online. I don't know why I decided to do that. I was using QuickBooks all 3 years, and this last year I made a lot more money than I had in the first 2 years, and I somehow did my taxes wrong. I ended up owing the IRS more money than I already paid them. It was a lot, and then I ended up paying them even more. That taught me that I needed to work with an accountant. So what I did was this year I started working with an accountant, and they did all of my books for me. They are gonna be the ones filing my taxes. Like I said, I was just talking with an accountant, a potential new accountant, and the reason why I was looking into actually hiring a different accountant is because the one that I hired is more of a bigger company, and they didn't really know my business as far as like being an OnlyFans creator, being a content creator. They didn't know the ins and outs of that. Because they're a bigger company, I didn't really have that hands-on experience that I would with, say, with a smaller company or one person. So when this accountant reached out, you know, he had mentioned that he works with OnlyFans creators, he's worked with small business owners and so on. So he already had some experience working with somebody that has the same sort of business as me. And so we got to discussing, and he's a lot more hands-on with his clients because it's just a one-man show. It's just him as far as like bookkeeping and really getting to know your business and your finances and help you through your finances. He's the person in charge of doing that and really having that one-on-one experience with his clients. So that's why I was looking into hiring a new accountant, because I really want to get to know my finances this year. As you guys know, I made a whole video on the type of money that I have been able to bring in. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out right here. It basically goes through my 6 streams of income and how much each of those streams make. But today we're gonna talk about how you should set up your finances so that you can do your OnlyFans taxes. The first thing that I wanna mention is you should set up an LLC. This is so that your business is just set up on the back end perfectly, and your accountant is gonna know what to do with you and all of that. So the first thing you should do is set up an LLC. An LLC is a limited liability company to make sure that you're separate from your business and you aren't liable for anything crazy. Each state is gonna have its own LLC situation. So what you're gonna wanna do is, in California, where you would make your LLC is the California Secretary of State website. You make your account there and then file your articles of organization. Make sure you have a company name and all of that before getting started. The California Secretary of State website is sos.ca.gov. And if you're not in California, you're gonna have to find whichever website is for your state and then do a similar situation. So that's the first step in organizing your finances. The next step is actually creating a business bank account. You don't actually have to do this, but it will help with taxes if you do it. So what I did is I took my LLC information once I got approved and my EIN number, and I brought that to my bank that I already had my personal banking with, and got a business account set up. So that's the next thing that you need to do. If you don't do any of those steps, don't worry, it's okay. You can just have the money from your OnlyFans going directly to your bank account. That's okay too. I'm just saying, if you want to do your taxes right, then I would get a head start on those things. Let's say you don't do any of those things. Your money's just going straight into your bank account. That's okay. Make sure you have QuickBooks attached to your bank account. And again, if you're not gonna have a business account, if you're not gonna hire an accountant, which I would also recommend, at least pay for QuickBooks. It's like $15 a month, and it keeps all of your finances in one place. So that is the next step, whether you get an accountant or you do QuickBooks or you do both, which most accountants use QuickBooks. That way you're both in the same account and you can see all your finances in one place. That would be the next step. So make sure you have QuickBooks. If there's anything you do, make sure you have QuickBooks. That's the one thing you have to do. And you can file your own taxes if you want to through QuickBooks. It's QuickBooks Self-Employment, and they have taxes like TurboTax connected, so you can file your own taxes. In QuickBooks, you're able to write things off. So this is what you need to know as far as how to do your taxes. You need to be able to organize all your transactions, either payments to your account or whatever you're buying for your business. You need to be able to separate all those different things into different categories. So the whole point of this is to really organize your finances. And this helps you when you start to do your own taxes, or if you hire an accountant, they will do your taxes for you. You don't have to worry about any of this. But if you're gonna be doing your own taxes, you're gonna need QuickBooks to organize everything. You can also look at write-offs. There are pages and pages of write-offs. There are pages and pages of write-offs that you can actually use for your taxes. And what I would do is I would look up what those write-offs are. So what I would type in is just list of LLC code write-offs. Tons of different things that you can write off for your business because you are an LLC. There are tons of things that you can actually write off for your business. Because you make content, a lot of the things that you purchase for your job are going to be write-offs. I forgot to mention what I mean by write-offs. When you go into QuickBooks, it's gonna ask you, what is this for? Is it a business expense or is it a personal expense? So when I say write-off, you can mark that certain things are a business expense. And if you do that in QuickBooks and then you take it into TurboTax, it basically takes out whatever you marked as a business expense. So that's why you need QuickBooks. You can't just print out your bank statements and do this yourself. That's gonna take way too long. You need something like QuickBooks that marks it for you, and then automatically when you're doing your taxes in TurboTax, since it's already connected, it just takes it out for you. Doing your taxes is really just marking business expense, not business expense, business expense, not business expense. Then you take that, you log into TurboTax, it pulls everything from those statements, and it just basically does it automatically. I mean, there's still more steps to it, but then you just follow the steps. But that's like the real basics to taxes. That's what you need to know. But one thing to know about this is you don't want to write off everything if you want to look like you've actually made income at the end of the year. Anything that you write off obviously is going to help you with how much you owe in taxes. But something that you also need to know is if you want to buy a house one day, you're going to have to look like you actually made money. And so if you write everything off, it looks like you didn't make as much money as you might have. And then if you're looking to buy a house, you might not get as big of a loan as you need to buy a house because it looks like you made less money. So be careful what you write off, but there are tons of things that you can write off. So say just like the camera that you use, the phone that you use for your business, the internet that you use. And if you're wondering, oh, well, how do I write those things off? Like I said, get QuickBooks. When you do your taxes on TurboTax, it'll ask you all the different details of your tax information and what you want to write off and all of that. If you do your QuickBooks correctly, which is your bookkeeping and making sure you're basically going in and marking each item, each transaction as whatever it is. So say you go to a photo shoot, you can write off the miles that it took you, as far as like gas costs and all of that. You can write any of that off, and the best way to do all that is through QuickBooks. Completely guides you through it. This is not an ad for QuickBooks. This is just what like basically everybody uses. You go in there and just mark whatever each transaction is, and then at the end, it'll show you what you made and what you wrote off. But here are some ideas of things you can write off. If you have an office, you can write that off. If you work in your home, you can write 3% off of your home. If you bought a new laptop for your company, if you bought a new camera, if you bought a phone for your business, if you bought outfits, you can write those off. Have meetings and you go and eat somewhere, you get a coffee and you're working there. Those types of things can all be written off. Now, do you want to write them all off? That's a different question. Like I said, depends on how much you want to make at the end of the year and how much taxes you really are going to end up paying. I don't know everything about taxes. I really don't. That's just how I've been doing it the last few years. And the first 2 years were fine. last year I did my taxes wrong. So do I know everything about taxes? No, I don't. Which is why now I'm working with an accountant to make sure that everything is done correctly. So if I'm saying anything and it's incorrect, that's why. I don't know the answer, but this is just to help you if you're just getting started and you don't know how to do taxes. What I would recommend is create an LLC, get a business account, start a QuickBooks, and either do it through QuickBooks or hire an accountant. Those are my tips. Okay, I actually forgot to mention one other thing, and that is that you're gonna get documents. I don't know taxes very well, so I don't know the names of the documents, like W blah 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 blah. You're gonna get documents from OnlyFans. They're gonna send them to your house. Make sure your OnlyFans account has the right address and everything so that it can send you the proper documentation. It's gonna send you those. And when you're doing your taxes, either with an accountant or through QuickBooks, aka TurboTax, it's gonna ask you for those documents. So just make sure you get the right documents, proper documents, and you import those in when TurboTax asks you for those documents. That's how you do your taxes. If you are just getting started on your OnlyFans business or on your social media business, whatever it might be, that is how I would recommend doing your taxes. Like I said, I don't know everything, so I can't give you like an in-depth like how to and like go through all the whatever. But what I can say is that would be the best way to start, and keep learning as you go. Watch videos like you're doing now. Even talking to an accountant can help you better understand your business and how to do your taxes. So that is my recommendation. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments down below, and what you want to learn next and what you want to know next for your business. With that all being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.